guys, Raspy Aspy and Joey here again. We have a different video for you today. This one's not going to be an unboxing. But in my last video, in which I unboxed my cards, I mentioned in passing that I have autism. I'm an autistic. And it occurred to me that I didn't really explain what that meant and what that looks like for me personally, just sort of in general. And I'd like to have that conversation because it's one that I feel adults get left out of a lot. Most conversations about autism and what autism is like and what services people need and things are geared towards and around children. Everybody wants to help children. There's early intervention services, there's in-school supports, there's therapists that offer occupational and speech and social skills therapy to children, but there's nothing for adults. It's like people think that we sort of fall off the face of the earth after we turn 22 and we're not eligible for school services anymore. So Joey and I wanted to have a conversation about what it's like being an adult with autism, because it's not the same as being a kid, as you most likely would imagine. I mean, we're different. So we kind of wanted to discuss that with you guys today. So I'll just go very briefly over some of the more prominent symptoms that people can see when they look at me. There's a lot of them, but I don't want to make this video too long because it's YouTube and nobody has an attention span on YouTube, so we'll keep this short and concise. The biggest thing that is difficult for me in the way that people see me is socializing. I have a cognitive understanding of the basics that people want, but it's like there's something missing inside me that makes my actions look the same way as other people's when they do similar things. Like my friends can walk up to a stranger they've never met and say, you know, hi, my name's whatever, and it's nice to meet you. And, you know, the other person will smile and say, hi, it's nice to meet you, I'm whoever. But when I say the exact same thing, hi, I'm Emily, it's very nice to meet you, there's something about the way that I present myself, or maybe I just have a big sign over my head that only neurotypicals can read. But I walk up to somebody and say, hi, I'm Emily, it's very nice to meet you, and they sort of pause, like they're thinking about something, and sometimes they'll sort of chuckle awkwardly, like they don't know what to do. And it's really confusing because as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing exactly what everyone else is doing, but they seem to read and interpret it differently. And that's confusing and frustrating and kind of isolating when you're like, I'm doing exactly what they're doing, why don't you treat me like you treat them? And so this is something that that I'm still working on. But to be honest, I've been this way for 24 years and I still struggle with the basics. So I don't know how much better I can expect to get. This might just be all of me for the rest of my existence. It's hard to say. Another big part of autism for me that also happens to be pretty obvious to the people around me is sensory issues. And sensory issues are incredibly annoying because little things that nobody else notices, hair dryers and cars passing on the street, vacuum cleaners. God, I hate vacuum cleaners. Little things that don't bother anybody else drive me crazy. It feels like somebody's drilling into my skull. And no matter how hard I try, I can't get the people around me to understand that. They think I'm exaggerating or making it up for attention, or they think, oh yeah, I'm sure that hurts, but they don't understand how much it hurts because they have nothing to compare it to. I ask my friends, do sounds cause you pain? Yeah, like that. Other people are annoyed by little madam here's squeaking, but for me it's like she's piercing my skull every time she does it, and I think she knows that because she likes to do it when I'm trying to put her to bed or when I'm trying to leave, and she knows that if I stay, or that if she screams, I will stay, and so she's quite manipulative. But anyway, she's not the only one who uses my sensory problems to her advantage. I used to, when I was a teenager, I did the whole traditional working fast food thing, and kids used to think it was hilarious to toss ice cubes into my dishwashing sink from behind me because they liked when it clattered and I freaked out. They thought that was hilarious. And I'd react, and so they'd do it again. People enjoyed getting a reaction, and everybody always says, well, don't react, and then they'll leave you alone. I can't not react. It's instinctive and automatic, and it happens before I have time to think about it. And so as much as I would like to not react when people are jerks, I can't. It's not something I can control. And that's something that I have to contend with a lot, is people that think that sort of thing is funny because they don't know what it feels like. Speaking, like actually producing words coherently and cogently and in the order that I want them to come out in is not something that people with higher functioning, for lack of a better term, autism think about a whole lot. They think the only people who have trouble talking are people with classic nonverbal autism who spin in their chairs and flap their hands all the time and never do anything but this. And that's not true. Sometimes the words just get stuck for reasons that I can't articulate. They're up here. I know what I want to say, but they get stuck right here. And I don't have a stuttering problem. That's not something that I deal with, but a lot of times, especially I notice, when I get particularly anxious, my words just sort of vanish. Like like they get stuck, and I can't get them out, and that's quite tedious, because people think you're not intelligent when you can't communicate fluently and as rapidly as they can, and you can't make yourself understood the way they do. They think there's something wrong with you, or they don't have the patience to listen to you. And that's very discouraging, because I'm very smart. When I got my autism diagnosis when I was 21, I did an IQ test, and I have a verbal IQ of 134, which is higher than 98% of the rest of the adult population. Like, I am really good with words. I'm good at writing, and when my words are working the way I want them to, I'm really good at speaking. Like I said in my last video, I've done a lot of public speaking venues for people. And so it's very disconcerting when the thing that you are best at evaporates and just sort of disappears, and makes people think that you're not as smart as you are, or that you don't understand what you're talking about. When chances are you understand what you're talking about better than they understand what they're talking about. But people don't see that. So that's just a little bit about my experiences with being autistic and not being an autistic kid. Not being traditionally autistic in the fact that I'm not a boy, the fact that I'm not obsessed with trains. I am obsessed with dinosaurs. Ask me any question you want about dinosaurs, and I can answer it for you. I get happy about dinosaurs. So yeah, it's kind of what it's like for me as an individual. Everybody's different, and that's why I bothered to tell my story when there are hundreds of other stories about people with autism already on YouTube, because those stories aren't my story, and I wanted to tell my story. So if you have any thoughts, nice comments, if you have autism, if you think you have autism, if you know somebody with autism, if your pet has autism. My pet has oppositional defiant disorder. She never listens to a thing I say. Please comment. I love hearing other people's stories too. Yeah, just let me know that I'm not talking into a void. And maybe if this sort of thing is interesting to you, feel free to leave comments about other videos that you'd like me to do about autism. I have a bunch of stuff I could talk about. I've got a whole bunch of STEM toys I could show you. I've got stories of stupid things people have said to me. All kinds of stuff. So yeah, just I'm pretty much up for anything. So, well, almost. I'm up for a lot. But yeah, so just hit us up in the comments, and Joey and I are very happy to converse with you, or make new videos based on your interests and your questions. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. And Little Miss Acrobat says thank you too. Bye, guys. Dude, you need to chill. You're very noisy. Like, shush, you're too noisy. People don't watch our videos to hear you screaming. You need to be nice. Don't bite me. Communicate fluidly and Joey. Joey, just thank you.